YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Take a look at the weapon that I'm using. Do you know what it is? This is the Randy's throwing knife. So I was reading the most recent TWAV, and we were told that this weapon was returning as a crucible gun, which is pretty exciting. Unfortunately for me, as I read the following line, all that excitement kind of disappeared once I read that we were getting a Trials Glaive. Yeah, a Trials Glaive. My main interests are the weapons that are returning, which is what I want to talk about first, and then later in the video we can cover some of the, negative things, some of the bad, what I don't like. It appears someone's on our flank as well. Let's push for that power ammo. So for starters, yeah, we're getting Randy's throwing knife to return. Why is this good? Why is this exciting? FrostBolt, this is a scout rifle. I don't care about scouts. Well, Randy's is pretty much a special scout rifle because it wasn't a pinnacle, but it was a ritual, but it was still, pretty good in the sense that it felt unique. It was a rapid fire, so you could shoot fast and you could play fast. On top of that, they gave it the perk Kill Clip, which turned it into a complete monster when it came to slaying opponents. And in my honest opinion, it was definitely one of the more enjoyable scout rifles to use. I didn't have to play passive, at the back of the map to really get to enjoy this gun as much as possible. Another weapon that is returning that caught my interest was Loaded Question. Now that was indeed a pinnacle weapon. And it was special because it had the perk Reservoir Burst. And I know we have some issues now because a lot of fusion rifles can get that perk. So, how does that fusion rifle plan to stay special? Nice two-piece. Let's keep it going. Now, even though I mentioned Loaded Question, it's just to give you an idea that there are some PV weapons that I'm actually looking forward to, but for starters, I just want to cover the Crucible one. So Randy's throwing knife. We're also getting the Messenger, which we've gotten a lot of times, but there's actually a perk I really want on it, and that's Headseeker. Look at this bad boy. Oh, hello. Oh, I didn't have shotgun ammo. If you understand the current state of pulse rifles and you remember how strong the Messenger was when we actually had it, you'll understand that this is actually a pulse rifle worth hyping up. Aside from Messenger, another weapon would be the Comp Sniper Rifle, which we don't know anything about, but I can actually safely look forward to it because they did a good job with the Rose hand cannon. You guys have seen a bunch of the comp videos. And I've actually had the desire of getting the God roll, so I find that hunt is going to keep me occupied for quite a while. I am curious to see what kind of change they'll make to have the scout rifle special. The sniper rifle. With Rose, we saw that they made it a lightweight frame as a 140 RPM hand cannon, which was quite interesting. So I'll be keeping my eyes open for that. That pretty much covers the PvP side of things for me. For PV, I already mentioned the Loaded Question and, pretty much my main concern. Two-piece. Shoot that for more thread links. Oh, that actually killed somebody. I don't know where they went, but they hunted for someone. Let's take a look at the scoreboard before we keep talking some more. Oh, 22 bomb, nice. So aside my concern with Loaded Question not being that special, I'm still looking forward to grabbing it because it is an iconic pinnacle weapon, and we can make that work with arc builds, which will be fun. What are we looking at here? DMTs, a couple players on the side. Another PvE gun I'm looking forward to is the Strand Fusion Rifle. Oh man, I've been loving Strand so much. I'm even using it right now, so it gives you an idea of, me wanting to do some build crafting, wanting to get more weapons of that element in my arsenal. I'm curious to see what kind of special perks it might have. Because right now we only have Hatchling as a strand perk. And I know with Riptide we've had something like Chill Clip, which was really good on fusion rifles. This is actually not a great spot to stay at. There's too many radar pings. I might be able to peek here with the scout. Oh, another rocket launcher. And the last weapon I'm actually looking forward to when it comes to PvE is the Swarm of the Raven grenade launcher. It is a rapid fire frame, and it used to carry me through endgame content for a good while. You guys remember the Crown of Sorrow raid? Yeah, dude. He would just post up in DPS with infinite auto-loading shots. Back before he got nerfed, you didn't have to reload, and that thing was just an absolute beast to just spray. Combined with Tractor Cannon, which would give the void weapons increased damage, it was a good time. So I know I'm gonna have some fun messing around with that. Anyways, that should give you an idea pretty much the weapons that I'm looking forward to grinding when it comes to PvE and PvP. It's time to talk about the ugly, what I'm concerned about, what I'm not really excited about. And the first one is loaded question. I mean, I already mentioned quite a bit. I touched on the subject. Dude, it's just, you know, we already had it. It's not that special anymore because they put the perk on other guns. So how do you plan to make it special? Like, I'm afraid that the hype is going to die immediately, you know, as soon as the weapon drops. I lightly touched on the subject earlier, and I know you're probably eager to get my opinion on the Trials Glaive, man. I'll tell you, I'm not really excited about a Trials Glaive, but it's not because I'm a try-hard PvPer, because I only play PvP. You know, I do love PvE, and I love playing with different builds. That much is true. And, you know, if it's not obvious by now, then probably got to watch out Frabo a little bit more, because I don't have anything against messing around with different types of weapon archetypes. The problem is that I find glaives to be pretty niche, and at this point, I think glaives have lost a lot of their magic. I didn't mind them when they first dropped, but now I'm just kind of like over them. It's like, all right, when are you guys pushing the power fantasy of the glaives? And I suppose that's really what I want to see from glaives. It's just that power of fantasy be pushed a little bit more, so that not every single glaive just feels like another toothpick that you've already used. He's not pushing. He does have a shotgun somewhere. Got that kill. Oh shit. Counter versus counter. Let's throw more nades. Oh no, it's a super. As I was saying though, glaives are niche, man. The amount of people that like glaives, you can compare that pretty much to the amount of people that like Gambit in Destiny 2. It's not that many. It's not that many. I think those people that are huge glaive lovers understand the point that I'm trying to make. I'm not necessarily trying to shit on them saying they're terrible, you know, not good weapons. It's just they're not as exciting as it could be. Let's take a look at the scoreboard before we keep talking. Nice. I want to bring up the big elephant in the room, and that is how many weapons are being reissued, especially like older skins instead of like newer weapon designs being reissued. And this is going to be something that people keep complaining about, including myself, over and over and over. It always burns at the start. We're like, oh man, look at this, another reissued, reskinned version of said gun. But after a little bit, you kind of get over it, because the real seller here is when they manage to actually put some new interesting perks on the guns that make them feel unique and new, right? I think you can agree. For those people that are just constantly like against the idea of reissued weapons, I mean, like I understand where you're coming from, but at this point, 7-year-old game, it's just it's not gonna change, right? This is what we have. That sniper rifle's an overshield. I'm more concerned about the power ammo than I am about him. Jesus, they're all taking turns team shooting me. Oh man, I barely survived. Things got pretty wild here. Well, yes, I do dislike so much seeing the guns being reissued. All I can really hope is just that there's going to be new ways to play around with the guns, so that, you know, it's not just exciting for me, but it's also exciting for you guys. Come on, challenge me. I know you want to. Oh, look at this thing frying. This is like the perfect lane for the scout rifle. Keep it going. I am curious to have your thoughts about the whole, you know, reissued weapons. I think most of us Destiny players that do enjoy the game and have been playing for a while now, pretty much are on the same page about it. As long as we're getting brand new perks, you know, making the guns feel new and refreshing, we'll be alright. We'll survive. We'll get our fun. We'll get our fix. There's no denying that we wish. Ah, nice bubble, dude. We wish that we would be getting just everything absolutely new. Oh, threadlings. you get the panic pop. The last point I wanted to cover in my video was actually the messenger. How many times are we going to get this pulse rifle? I feel like it's been... Oh, I'm dead. I feel like the weapon has been just reintroduced so many times, and the gun itself is just saying, yo, boss, I'm tired. Stop putting me in. Like, let me take a break. Well, you know, you could look at the situation in a positive way. It's like, okay, maybe you never got the gottle for the messenger. This is your chance now. You know, get rid of that FOMO. Headseeker is now buffed on pulse rifles. So if messenger rolls with Headseeker, that's pretty huge because that becomes probably the best pulse rifle in the kinetic slot. And at that point, I personally would consider using that over something like No Time to Explain, because Headseeker really is that good. Here lies the problem with that. Like, we know Headseeker is really good, and in my honest opinion, Headseeker is now the best perk for a pulse rifle. It's going to be really hard to top that, right? How do you create excitement on not only a reissued gun, but a gun that the perks, the new ones, are just going to be ignored because, you know, there's already a perk that has been determined to be the best, the one that you want, and you ignore everything else. It's almost like having things like opening shot, rangefinder on a hand cannon. You kind of just ignore anything else because you already know the best perks. You know what you want, you know what you're looking for, you kind of just ignore the rest. Either way, like I said, I don't have a Headseeker roll on the messenger, so I do have something to grind and I'm looking forward to using it. Let me know your thoughts. I hope you enjoyed watching. Hopefully you enjoyed watching the gameplay and listening to the commentary. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.